Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. So this is what's new today. Stay tuned, watch the rest of this video as our trio gets power upgrades. Alright, here we go. Well gang, it's been a while since I made any videos and sorry about that. It's just been raining and we had Happy Easter this past Sunday, so I spent some time with the fam. And I've been busy on working on these trio here. So we got here are the Traxxas Max. We got the Traxxas Haas. And lastly, we got the Arrma Mojave. So this video today is basically, we're just doing some power upgrades here. We did this. Boom. It's the Hobbywing Max 6. And I have an easy run 1650 kV motor that I put in the Mojave. I put the Max 6 ESC also in the Mojave, and we got it into the Traxxas Max. So this is what we got here today. We got these three here, and I want to show you what I did so far. The first upgrade that I did do was on this on the Arrma Mojave. Everything went well. It's basically just a replacement of just the ESC and the motor. Didn't have any problems on doing any of those the swap. I did take it out for a bash and I was going to post a video, but just 5 minutes into the video I actually lost the right rear CV axle. So basically all this time I've been running it, never had any problems or encountered any problems with my axles or anything at all with this Mojave. Basically it's been running pretty much straight out of the box, hardcore. If you've been watching my videos on the Mojave versus the UDR, and I'll post a link there, as well as the Vidovon wheel review. Here are the Vidovons with the Proline Hyrax tires. You'll notice that I didn't have too much problems except for the Vidovons, which I kind of expected, rubbing on the inside of the wheel. You can also watch that video that I posted on the review of these Vidovon wheels, but other than that, never had any problems with it. Everything's been running really well, really well. So this is the Hobbywing combo that I put on. Basically, I bought this on Thanksgiving weekend on Black Friday, so I got a pretty good deal on this, and it's been sitting around and haven't put it in anything. I was planning on putting it on my Arrma Infraction, but the Arrma Infraction, I think it's pretty quick enough, and I kind of like the way that it is now. Don't have to do too much tinkering with it. And since the Mojave, I do kind of run a little bit more bashing on the dirt and in the parks, I figure I might as well do the install on this. So it's pretty much straightforward. You just take out your motor. Helpful tip, and I know everybody on the Facebook pages have been saying, and even on the forums, that these screws here are very difficult to take out because they are Loctited straight from the factory by Arrma. And the trick is you really do need to heat up these screws here with either a torch or a soldering iron. Now what I did was just use a soldering iron. I stuck it right on top of the screw head. As much as I could wait, just to make sure that the Loctite gets liquefied and loose enough for me to take it off. Because if you do strip it, it is really a little bit more time for you to take it off. You just get like a Dremel, make some slots, and use like a flathead screwdriver to take it off. But if you take your time, use a soldering iron or a heat iron or any kind of heat to loosen up that Loctite. It'll come straight off. So didn't have any problems. I took it off, took out the motor mount, screwed it back in. The pinion that I'm using is the higher or the larger pinion that comes in the box. Is a 20T pinion. I think that'll suit my needs. I did take it out in the front of my house before I went to the park, and it ran really well. So I'm kind of satisfied with the 20T. Heat temperatures I never got it really hot or anything, and that's because I am running a Nidec fan, as you can see here. I'll show you how I got it mounted, because there is really no heat sink that I got, but this is what I have. It's basically a Nidec fan. It's a server fan. It's running off 12 volts. So that is why I do have balance lead plugs that I solder to it. And I just run, if I'm running two 3S battery packs, I just plug this into one of the balance leads and it powers my fan. So I have the fan pointing at the motor. And when I did run it for about 20-25 minutes, this motor never got hot. So 20T pinion with this fan, perfect, no problems. ESC, no problems. So I really wanted to take it out for a bash at the park, and again, I went to Kualoa Beach Park, and that's when I lost an axle. So they didn't have it in my local hobby store, so I had to order it off eBay. I ordered brand new parts, and then I also ordered a whole bunch of drive shafts, rear, front, as well as the center off of Jennings RC. Got a pretty good deal for takeoffs, and I got that as backup. So all I had to do was just adjust the droop screw. I tightened it about 3 turns, and hopefully that'll solve the problem with the drive shaft popping out. So I don't know if some of you guys, well, I have read that some of you guys have had problems with their axles coming out. So they said just adjusting the droop screw will solve that problem. Okay, so the droop screw is right there if you can see it, and basically it just limits the amount of travel that this arm has going up and down, so that you don't overextend your shocks, and it keeps the axle in check, because without that much of a droop or the A-arm going down, it won't pop out. So I got this, and then we'll do a bash session as soon as we have time to get to the park again. But that's the power upgrade that I did for the Mojave. Okay, so next up, I'm going to skip over the Haas for now. And we're going to go to the Traxxas Max. Now the Traxxas Max, I know some of you might have commented that the Max was kind of slow. The last time I took this out in that video that I did with the Arrma Kraton. Showing my Arrma Kraton now. I did paint the wheels with ink pen. You see these? These are the backflips LPs, which is pretty hot. So I took out the Minokawas and I put this on, and I figured, I might as well dress it up. I had some time. So I did do that to the wheels. But the last time I took this out, some of you have been saying, hey, it looks a little bit underpowered. And I just kind of mentioned that when I was driving this, basically I was just running it like half throttle. At the most, maybe 3/4 of a throttle, because when I was filming, I had the GoPro on my head and I was doing turns with this, and I was circling around and around, and I was getting myself dizzy. But I kind of noticed that when I did look at the app on my phone, I basically had the Bluetooth Traxxas remote. I do have profiles for both the Haas and the Max. So when I checked the Max, it might have been possible that the setting was on 3S. So even though I did have a 4S battery in this, it was possible that I was only running, on 3S power. So got that sorted out, because I did do a test with this. And as you can see, this is the setup now for the Max. So we're using the stock 540 can, 540 XL can. And I do have a Hobbywing Max 6 ESC in here. So I'm capable of running on 6S now, possibly 8S, but I don't think 8S is going to be what I'm going to be running, because I think 6S will be sufficient. I did buy a fan. If you can see here, it looks a little bit different, because this ESC, the motor fan has been replaced. The Traxxas motor fan has been replaced with a Protek 2111. It's an all-metal fan, and I'll provide a link below, either on eBay, and I'll see if they have it on Amazon, but I got mine off of eBay. I ordered 2 of them. I'll show you the other one that I have on the Traxxas Haas, but it'll just add a little bit more reliability and longevity, because any debris that gets past the shroud here won't damage or won't risk the fan blades getting broken, because the fan on the Protek is all aluminum. So I did plug it in. I am again using, on this one, I'm using the stock plug. So I have a JST plug here plugged into the fan, and it comes directly off of, see here, I think this one comes straight from the, yep, it comes straight from the receiver. So the power comes from the receiver, and this is again just the stock plug that went into the original Traxxas fan. So this is what I got on the Max. So this has also a power up. We are also running 6SL. The only thing is, in terms of battery, I do have a Velcro system here. As you can see, I'm using Protek Velcro straps. There we go. In comparison to the original latch system. And if you ever use the latch system, some people have been complaining about the latch arm coming off and losing their batteries when they're doing some bashing around. So I kind of like the Velcro system a little bit better because it's just a lot easier to take the battery on and off or put it in and out. So I'm using this here. But the only thing is I'm using Electron Pro 4S, which fits in here fine. I do have a CNHL G Plus 4S LiPo battery if I want to run this on 4S. But the CHNL is a little bit wider. So if I were to put that in here, I'd have to kind of like tilt it at an angle, like 45-degree angle in order to get in here because it's, the CNHL is a little bit wider. Or if I do run a 6S, I do have a Gens Ace 6S LiPo that will fit in here fine. So the 6S Gens Ace one fits perfectly in here. So we'll do a test run with this one too, this 6S with the Hobby Wing Max 6 ESC and the stock 540 can. So watch the video that I have on this, on all the mods that I've done. Basically we have a wide kit which have helped a lot. Again, watch that Traxxas Max versus the Arrma Creighton on the 4S. So basically we just made this a lot faster. Hey guys, so that's the Traxxas Max. Lastly, what we have here is the Traxxas Haas. So how are we going to power this up? Well, basically we just take the 4S ESC out of the Max and we put it into the Haas. Now the Haas took a little bit more work because in order to get the ESC to fit in here, let me get the cover off. In order to get the ESC to fit in here, it took a little bit of modification, trying to figure out a way to get it on here because on this chassis, when you take out the original ESC, I don't know if you can see here, but there is a raised spot where one of the screws goes so that when you have the VXL 3S ESC, the screw that holds down this ESC goes to that raised or elevated part of the chassis. Now, I could have grounded it down with a Dremel, but I wanted to kind of keep it as stock looking as possible, just in case I want to put the VXL3 back in there for some reason or another. So basically all I did was just use a piece of Lexan sheet that I got from the hobby store, and I cut out a plate, and then I was able to stick it down here, and I used two mounting spots. So I did not use that raised spot. What I did use was this corner of the servo where the screw goes down into the ear of this servo. So I took out that screw, and I'm using like a hex, I think this is, yeah, it's a 35 millimeter screw. And this screw keeps this ESC fan cover down to the ESC, and it actually goes into the hole where the hole for the ear of this servo goes down. So that's one mounting spot. The other mounting spot is basically the same as the original ESC. So there's another screw that goes straight into the chassis. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but I have two screws in there. And then the last thing I did was with that Lexan fiberglass plastic sheet that I have there, I have a foam double-sided tape, put it on the bottom of this ESC, and then it's stuck in there, so it's rock solid. This is not going to move. So this Haas is now capable of running 4S. Okay, and then if you can see here, I also have a fan. So here's my fan setup. You can see there. Now this fan, I'm also using a Nidec fan, and it's tilted sideways because this is the only way I can get it to mount pretty good. I did not buy the motor heat sink for this 540 can. I basically bought, I think this is a Yeah Racing. Let me see if I can get here. This is a Yeah Racing motor mount, fan mount, I'm sorry. And it was pretty easy to put on. So basically there's a screw. You put this, this clamp around the motor, and then you screw it down, and then that screw tightens this clamp around the motor. And then there's another screw hole for your fan to mount. So I just have one of the bolts attached to this fan mount to the motor, and it holds it in pretty secure. I have a second one here, but this is basically just to help keep the cover on a little bit more secure. So the downside with this is that if I do have a tall battery, this fan does get in the way. But so far with 3S lipos, I haven't had any problems. Again, I'm using Electron Pro 50C 5000 milliamp per hour lipo, and it fits in here fine with some clearance. But if I were to use a 4S lipo, which I have a few, I know that the Electron Pro hard case 4S lipo, it's a little bit thicker and wider, so I do have a little bit of problem putting it in here. I could probably tilt this away or move it a little bit to the side, but it's probably not as secure as the Soft Pack 4S. The Soft Pack 4S will fit in here. The CNHL G Plus battery pack, however, will not fit flat. I also have to turn it on its side, and then I'm able to strap it down with my 4S. So this is my Traxxas Haas. If you watch my videos on the all aluminum build that I have on this, or the best parts you can put on your Haas, it has a description of all the parts that I put on it. Again, I have a black label Protek 170 servo. That servo has been pretty good. If anything, if I were to change it, I'd probably go with the bigger servo, maybe the 360 in terms of this. I think it all depends on the surface that you're running. I noticed that these tires, if you're using heavier tires on gravel, it'll be fine. But on grippier surfaces, it does tax, or it seems to tax the servo a little bit more. It could use a little bit more power, but so far I've been okay with it. And then we have all aluminum parts. We have VG springs on GTR shocks. We got all aluminum parts here. We got aluminum tie rods. We have green RPM arms. Again, VG springs. I'm running, I think, 80 weight oil in here. And let's see here. I'm looking for the camber pins or the camber arm rods, but haven't ordered it yet. It's been out of stock everywhere I look. So it's been out of stock for about 6 months. I think they're in stock in April, right, as of this time. So I'm going to have to look and start to order those. And then, sorry about that. Just thinking about something. What else do we have here? So that's pretty much it. I'm using Traxxas Stampede tires up here just to replace the original sledgehammers. I was just going for that monster truck look. Again, I wanted to kind of go after that Gravedigger look. I was going to put an aftermarket body on this to kind of simulate a monster truck. But ever since getting my my Gravedigger, and here we are. As you notice, I already took off the monster truck body, or this F Ford 150 custom body off. And I put the Gravedigger body back on so we can do some bashing with this. We'll do another bash session with this later on. That's the kind of look I was kind of going after with this Traxxas Haas. Okay, so this is it, guys. These are the hop-ups that I've done. We'll do another bash session with these soon. I did start to do a bash session video for the see if I get this body on straight. Well, anyway, I started to do a bash session with this, but again, I was at the Park Coolo Ranch, and unfortunately we lost the rear axle. But I got it all fixed. It's all up and running. I'm having an issue with this LED light bar I got off eBay. I'll provide a link. It was pretty cheap, but both of the light bars that I have and bought for this have failed. This have failed after the second battery pack. Don't know what's wrong. And I have a brand new one that I also just unpackaged. Try to hook it up to an ESC, to my receiver, and directly to the battery. Basically, it runs off of from, I think it requires 4.6 volts up to about 7 volts, around there, but none of them will power the LEDs. So I contacted the eBay seller, and hopefully they'll get back to me with a solution. But it's a bright light for the cost. It was running fine the first time I got it on my Mojave, so hopefully we can get that resolved and fixed, because it looks really good on the Mojave. So that's it, gang. Short video for today, just showing the power-ups for the these trio. And we'll get back to doing a bash session soon. I hope you like the channel. Please like and subscribe. And make sure, I still got that giveaway going, so watch that video on the giveaway. We do need some more people to like, subscribe, and make a comment on what kind of parts you want. So watch that video. I do have some Arrma parts. I do have some Traxxas parts. I do have some UDR parts. Some of them, again, all of these parts are either brand new in the package or brand new takeoffs. So like and subscribe, comment on that video. I'll provide our link here, and then we'll see you again soon. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Take care.